Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome again. So, today I'm going to be touching upon something which I've personally been working on. And while not specifically working on, I do see that having a huge impact on certain emotions that I have coming up inside of me. And those of rejection. And I guess a lot of us face this. And I thought it'd be a good idea to maybe address that and talk about it. So, why are we afraid to get rejected? Why do we feel the fear? Like, what's that ickling feeling inside of your stomach when you're approaching someone for something which you primarily see as a need inside of you, which you need to kind of satisfy externally. Now, this could take so many different colors, right? Like, because as humans, we are, yeah, we're out in the world to discover. We're out in this beautiful world to discover new things and are also out in this world to find and integrate things outside of ourselves which are not existing inside of ourselves. So one such thing I am currently up against or facing, you would, if you would, is about learning the art of sales. Now, if you guys know me and who've been following me for a while, know that I come from the music background and I come from an arts education background specifically. So, like, while while my learning was really elaborate in terms of the arts and in terms of how you become a critical thinker and how you become philosophical about being able to abstract things and just about all of that. It had very, very, very little to do with the world of sales. It had literally like nothing to do with that. And now that I see myself in this space, in this high ticket space, working uh, in a way that I affiliate that with my music, I'm confronted with this new challenge, you can say, something which I have not experienced before. So one of the first things which was coming up was that I'm out here to do something new, and what if I get rejected? Now I see this as being something quite deep for artists and creative people or musicians in general, just because of the fact that if you're an artist or a creative person or even a spiritual person for that matter, a spiritual person, by that I mean somebody who brings that into manifestation. A lot of astrologers, yoga teachers, whatever you want to call that, a lot of these people, they bring out something which they are working on inside of themselves, and they are bringing that out into the world. And when they do that, I'm sorry, I just put that on silent. I'm sorry. Yeah. So when they do that, they are kind of bringing to life what is very deeply hidden in them. And it's the same with somebody who's doing an artistic creation or for example, live techno set that I'm working on right now. It's industrial techno, which I'm working on right now. But whatever that is, it's coming from a place where it's quite deep, and you're generally very vulnerable to share that with the world around you. You're generally not that comfortable to share it in its rawest form, and hence you spend a lot of time as artists trying to refine it to a level where it's presentable, and you're still not satisfied with it. If you're a perfectionist, you're still going after it. The thing is that since it's so deep inside of you, uh, how do you put it, there's a huge bridge between the external world and its presence inside of you. Are you getting what I'm like trying to come at? Like, if you have a very, very, very original idea. Now, what is an original idea? An original idea or an original creative streak is something which is uh, coming generally from the realm of the subconscious. It's coming from a place inside of you where only you kind of uh, feel it, or on a deeper level just sense it. Not even feel, you're still just sensing it. Maybe when you're sleeping, you're just sensing it. You're not even like uh, feeling it. It's kind of that deep in you. And when you start to work on something like that, when you start to work on a intuition, when you start to work on a hunch, when you start to just work on something you're inkling towards, when you trust that and when you go ahead with that, what's happening is that most likely it's coming from a place very deep in you, and this place is kind of linked with a lot of higher dimensions, and where higher dimensions where your soul, your spirit are kind of connected. And when you are kind of bringing that into the so-called real world outside of you, which is busy, which is already created, because why do I say that? It's already in 3D or physical form, right? It's already in the physical form. That means it's already robust, it's already functioning, it's already entity which is structured, and yeah, which is functioning. That's the best way to put it, right? So now when you're bringing something very deep from inside of you out onto the external world, so many things can go wrong, right? Just so many things can go wrong. Number one is you don't even feel like the thing which is inside of you has anything to do with what already exists in the world. That's why something that deep always feels very original or always feels very out of place, mainly because that your inner depths are not exactly aligned with your immediate external world. Because remember that your immediate external physical world is aligned with ideas created by someone generations ago. Now, the aeroplanes that we go in, and the things that we board so easily without even thinking about it, something which was just in the idea realm 150 years ago, was something which was just somebody's imagination. Even 100 years ago, it was just coming in to the space around them. At that time, they had nothing, nothing which could fly off the earth. There was just nothing like that. It was imagined, it was fantasized, it was wondered about, but it wasn't there around them. So think about the people who were one of the first, uh, part of the first, I would say, uh, not just the inventors, because all of us know who they are, but I'm just talking about like the full group of bunch of entrepreneurs, bunch of visionaries, bunch of engineers who are working towards bringing that into life. They are bringing into life something which is so radical, which has nothing to do with their immediate external reality, because that immediate external reality was again 100 years prior, was again imagined by somebody or a group of people much, much, much earlier. So when they're bringing that into fruition, it's generally an uphill task. Not just an uphill task, it feels so out of sync with what is outside of you. And that is where I'm coming down to this, sensation of rejection. You feel this deep sense of rejection. It's not even, it's not even funny to speak about it. It's like you're feeling this really deep sense of rejection when you're bringing something so deep into you out into the world that you try your best to kind of protect it or make it well before you bring it out. And this is something which a lot of artists, a lot of musicians, a lot of creative people, anybody who's working with something original inside of them generally faces. And while I still face this in music, because as I said, it's extremely deep for me. It's very, yeah, it's just something very close to me. What this, uh, what this affiliation is doing is that it's kind of allowing me to lead from a place where I'm not so affected, where I'm not so deeply affected. Like when I'm, getting on these calls or having these conversations with people in regards to the affiliate offer that I work with, or any of those sorts, when things go sideways or things go wrong, or when things don't go according to plan, or the call doesn't go out that well, or you're so-called, up against someone who's not interested or rejected or any of these things, it actually doesn't feel uh, anywhere even close to what it feels like and that same thing happens to your song, and that same thing happens to your artwork. Like, I'm serious, it's not even close, like not even 1 in 100. It's extremely different. And the reason why, because I wanted to make this video because I felt it so clearly today. And yeah, especially on this yeah, kind of call that I was on, and it went bad, it went really bad, but it didn't affect at all. It probably stayed on my mind for a couple of minutes, but I could wash it away very easily. Is because uh, what I'm working on externally is really external for me. I'm not the actual creator of it. I'm an affiliate marketer in this space. It was created by somebody else, and I really see the impact of it on somebody's psyche. Like the way an artist gets, you know, feels when they are rejected in their artwork is extremely different from this. It's very deep. It's very penetrative. It's extremely personal. Here, you don't feel that much. Here, you feel like, yeah, an offer I affiliated with, this person does not want to affiliate with, because I can see it very clearly. Their life situations very different. Their circumstances do not align with what I have on offer, what we have on offer. The word we comes in because it's collaborative. Yeah, it doesn't, yeah, it's not aligned with what we have on offer. And after maybe thinking about it for a couple of minutes, or sulking about it, or whatever is the emotion that comes up for you, brooding over it, generally for me, it's investigating over it. The rationale kicks in, the rational mind kicks in that it's totally fine. It's yeah, it's not for them. That's it. It's just yeah, and you just get on with it, and you just get on to yeah, the next thing that you have to do, or like the next person that you have to speak with, and things are totally fine. But this is not how this is not how you're able to take criticism, or not even criticism. I would say rejection. Criticism is still like still a shot at uh, the criticism is still a shot at your specific experience, their specific experience of your artwork or your creation. It, while being praised, is just a positive outcome of light being shown on your creation. Criticism is just a negative light being shown on your creation, but it's still light being shown on your creation. Rejection is something else. Rejection means you're just not looked at all for what you are. Or that is the thing with creativity. That's the thing with creating art, is that you associate so deeply with it because it's come from very deep inside of you, that you literally think of it as you, as yourself. You're not able to build that separation. And this, I don't want to say I struggle with it. Of course I do struggle with it, but I don't see it as a struggle, because I feel that it's best experienced when it is an extension of you. And your art, your creativity is an extension of you. I feel that's the best time. That's a good space to be in, because you're in a space where you feel very responsible for what you're creating, and that's, I feel, a very good space to be in. But this this affiliation, this high ticket sales marketing, which I've been uh, doing a lot, connected to my music, is really helping me get over a lot of things which are very difficult for me even imagining. Like, from the place I come, in that artist musician realm, it's simply not possible, because it's really different. So I'm kind of learning quite a bit with this. And if yeah, and I've been reading up some books on I've been reading up a lot of Robert Kiyosaki lately, about the art of investing and all of that, and about the art of being an entrepreneur. And one of the first things which I realize is that, which he says as well, is that everybody's got to give it a shot at sales now. Why? because it's going to be there if you're an entrepreneur of any nature. Now, I call musicians as entrepreneurs also. Why? Because they are most likely self-employed, in that they are their own management, they are their own business, they are their own, you know, sole proprietorship, if you will. So being able to I would say be even okay with sales, being able to know how to do it, being able to learn about it is an extremely vital skill. And it's quite unfortunate that we are not taught about it in art school and in music schools, because it's really so important. And I can imagine, because the orientation is different and the purpose is different as well, because when you're kind of creating music, there's very little way of you to try to so-called direct it monetarily if you're being very true to your musical causes. Of course, there are many ways of doing that, but I'm just saying that that's not the purest pursuit any serious musician would want to do, or any serious artist would want to do. And I guess a lot of you would agree with that as well. So having something like this on my backline, having something like this on my periphery, is helping solve out a lot of internal stuff for me. This seed stuff, this marketing stuff, very new for me. It's very new space for me. But I can see myself becoming a completely new person in a few seasons in of doing this. Why? Because it's something that's so radically different for me. It's something that's so out there for me, that these are qualities which I want to integrate. And I start looking at it that way, and I start looking at the longer picture, that is that this is a quality I don't have. Maybe, yeah, I don't even know if I'm good or bad at it. And to be honest, it does not even matter. Why? Because it's a quality I don't have, and it's a quality that I deeply want to have. I want to integrate it because I want my music to thrive and do well. So I want this quality. I'm going to integrate it. That's the way I look at it. And I started to look at it that way. I literally don't compare myself with anybody, because I myself know that I come from a very different background, and it's got nothing to do with anybody who's probably already out here, who's a big player in the space. It doesn't matter, because I know where I'm coming from, and I know exactly what I'm here to take from it, to integrate this quality in me and thrive in this space, and allow my music to thrive along with this. So once I get that clarity in my head as to why I'm doing it and what I'm doing it for, then it becomes, I wouldn't say much more easier, but it becomes quite irrelevant. The word rejection is what I especially learned today. Is it becomes very irrelevant because you're not looking at it that way. And I'll tell you one more thing. I am specifically, in fact, going after things subconsciously, going after things where I feel that rejection might be there. I'm not going after things where I see that, yes, it's, surely I feel like I might be successful in this. I'm also picking up the things, I'm taking it up like a challenge. I'm trying to see, how do I react in that? And how do I take it? And how do I brush it off my shoulders? And how do I proceed with it? So that's what I've been challenging myself with. And hit me up if you feel like you've been doing something similar, or you would like to, or what are your thoughts on this? Let me know what you think. Just wanted to share that it's kind of what I've been doing. And if you are someone who's afraid of rejection, I feel sales is a good, it's something nice to try out. It's something nice. If you're not from that background at all, it's something nice to try out with a very clearly defined goal. You just can't randomly get into it and then you'll just be thrashed. So it's not the best idea, I would say. Just the way I outlined, have a plan, like have a specific plan of why you're doing it, what you're doing it for, and what you expect from it. And once you kind of have that, you can get a lot over your people pleasing. If you have that in you, you can get a lot of your fears of somebody not liking your product, which is associated to you, which is associated to your identity. You'll be able to see these three things very separately and be able to see that what the person doesn't like is not you. What the person doesn't like is the product or the offer you're affiliating with, because it doesn't ring or resonate with their current life situation. And you're able to see that with clarity, you're able to go back and see these things. And I'll tell you one more thing I started to do. I started to record conversations, like video record conversations. Why? Because I go back and have a look at them. I go back and check them out. I go back and see how I react at every situation. Because I'm also seeing this as I said, a self-learning, a way of mastering the skill in a couple of seasons. And it's an excellent way to like track your progress or just see how you're reacting under these situations. And another one more last thing I would like to mention before we finish is how to not lose your cool in these kind of situations, because some of these conversations can go down very badly, can go down really ugly, can get very uh, more like a ego battle, if you will. But why you need to not lose your cool in this is, uh, remember one thing: since you're mostly meeting with people you've never met before, when it comes to sales, you're pitching to new people, right? Or you're like discussing with new people about the opportunity. Chances are as well that you're never going to meet them again in your life. So when that is what the odds are, and you're meeting a complete stranger who you've never met before, who has nothing to do with your background or your just the trajectory of life. And if this doesn't work out, they're going to have nothing to do with, again, your background or your trajectory of life. Why the hell will you look at it like an ego battle? They don't even know you. You don't even know them. There is no need to have there's no need to even have a stance. I would say I would really go down to that level to say there is no need to even have a stance. Why? Because if things are, you try it out, if it doesn't go well, it literally takes 2 seconds to cut a call and say, that's it, mate, I'm not interested in proceeding with this further. Or if you're really someone who would love to use explicitives in a situation which is bad, you can do that, cut it, block the person, end of the story. You can do that. You are in a space like that. You're in a very beautiful space that is not going to affect anybody. Why not experiment? Why not try out? Why not try out speaking to different people? Why not try out speaking to the most diverse people you would have never even dreamed of speaking with, because they're totally not your, just don't have anything in common at all. But give it a shot. Go to the places where you feel like you've absolutely nothing in common. You're almost 98% certain that it's going to fail. But try it out. It takes 2 seconds to say the golden words. It takes just 2 seconds to cut the call. You can do it at any time. So do not miss out the opportunities if you're feeling like, oh, this call is going really bad, or like this, this conversation with this person doesn't seem like it'll materialize. Take it till the end. Because why? Because if you are looking at it like a learning experience, this is only for that. Okay, like if you're already from a sales background or something, you're already from that space. I'm from an art space, very different from you guys who were in the sales space. So if you're already from that space, I'm sure you have much better tactics because you've seen it all. But I'm just saying, for someone who's coming new into the space, see it like a learning experience. See it through. See how you yourself react. See what like pushes your boundary. See how deep you can take it. See how late you can take it into the game before you cut the call. It takes 2 seconds to do it. It literally takes 2 seconds to do that, and just swipe them off from your whatever social media platform you're on. It literally takes only that long. But go through the experience. Go through what happens emotionally inside while you're in a heated conversation, while you're in a disagreement, while you're with someone who is rejecting you, while you're with someone who does not want to do what you're doing. Just stay in the space. Stay in the space till the end, till the point that it goes away. And you're going to come out much richer the next time because you've lived out the experience. And next time, intuitively, you'll want to attract that kind of people. You'll attract a higher quality of what you would call as leads or people coming into your business as well. So I wanted to make this video about the negative experience I had today, which was highly enriching and a positive outcome in terms of what I've learned. So yeah, I already said what I had to say. If you feel, yeah, if you're feeling rejected or if you have the fears of rejection, then I'd say just try out sales. It's not a bad idea. Okay, that's about it, and I will see you soon with something similar to my music, my astrology, or my high ticket sales entrepreneurship. Okay, bye for now.